Hello, welcome to this tutorial on how to install a new virtual environment for our UAV course or workshop. So if you go to the class GitHub, and then you can see there's a folder called Anaconda. And what we need to do is download this environment.yml file. So this environment.yml file has all the information and the packages that we are going to use for this course. So it's going to be, now the environment is going to be called UAV. So as I've showed you earlier, this environment over here is being called the base environment, which is what initially comes when you install. And now what we're trying to do is create a different environment and uh, and then work on that environment so we don't mess up the original one. All right, so and then coming back here, and you can see there are various channels, basically repositories where you can actually download these packages from, and it also tells you to install Python. There's no specific version of it, but if you need a specific version of Python here, you can edit this and make it equal to 3.9.15. And similarly, you have pip. These are basic things. And one thing of importance is this one, where it's OpenCV, is also going to be installed. And then you can see there is also a bunch of other contribution packages or libraries as part of OpenCV that's also going to be installed, but you're going to be installing it using pip. Pip is again an internal installer to install libraries inside Python. And then the most important thing is you're also going to call for this library to be installed, which is the DJI teleop Py2 library. And this is actually based off Python 3. So this is also going to be based off Python 3. And we're specifically saying to install the latest version is 2.3. And the whole packages is now going to be installed. So you're going to have, again, IPython, uh, Jupyter, Spider, Jupyter Lab also. As part of this, you'll be also using Matplotlib, NumPy, SciPy. All these packages are going to be used. So if you want to later on, let's say, update something in this particular environment, you can again go back to this file and you can keep adding certain packages here, the dependencies, and then you can actually give a command instead of saying create. You basically will say update and update this environment. Okay, so now let's go back. So we need to actually download this. I'm actually going to download this into for now for into downloads. But as we know, uh, I'm actually going to be creating this particular, uh, this workspace. You can create this workspace in a particular directory. So uh, over here, you have that, and users, my username, and I've actually put my UAV workshop here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually basically going to create this workspace in here, which is UAV workspace. I'm going to put that in for now. So that's going to be the space where it is. And as you can see from here, the the environment is just simply going to be called as UAV. So in other words, if I actually do this, open up a terminal, so you can see that's the base. So whatever you are trying to do, which is Python, uh, right, input version. So that's 3.9.13, and it's all with respect to that particular virtual environment, which is called base, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go into this folder, UAV workshop, and sorry, and then after that, I'm going to go to my UAV workspace. So that's that. I have to go in there. And now I can also list what the environments that Anaconda has. So I'm going to actually say Anaconda environment list, and then you can see that it only comes up with one, and that's actually installed in there. right? So there are also other commands that you can actually kind of do it. So there's online tutorials uh, in a lot of places. You can actually look at that. So now what we are going to do is we are going to actually set this up over here. Since we are in this particular workspace directory, make sure you're in this workspace directory. And then I'm going to just basically say, uh, you know, conda, right? And I have to do an environment, sorry, create, and I'm going to do a prefix, and this is just basically all standard .env environment. And then also what I'm actually going to do is drag this file that I just downloaded, right? I'm going to just copy this down to this folder that we just were in, UA workshop, UAV space, and this is the workspace, right? I put that environment file there, and now I'm in this file, and now I'm actually going to say file, and that's your environment thing. So basically, now it's going to actually create the whole package. And I hit enter. Let's see what happens. So it's actually going to read the file. As you can see, this is actually reading the environment.yml file, right? And it's actually trying to figure out, like, do I have all the, you know, libraries? Can I fetch all these libraries from these different channels? I'm able to, would it be able to get those libraries? So then after that, it's going to say, you know, it succeeded in finding those packages, and then it gets to install. So it takes some time. And so this is now, but it's still, we are in our base library. So now what we have to do is we would be activating, uh, you know, our new library, and that's our new environment, and then we'll be working with the environment. So once you're done with this class or course or workshop, then what you can do is simply, prune this environment or just delete this environment, and you get some free space. Okay, so I'm just going to pause our uh, recording for some time, and then I will resume back when you have, uh, some process completed. So now we can see that it's done collecting the package metadata, and then it's trying to solve it for environments. Like, it's going to figure out if those packages have any dependencies and trying to download those dependencies. So again, we're just now waiting for the next process. So after a few hours, I got this environment set up, and as you can see, if I go onto this workspace, right, and then I have, uh, I mean, uh, you can see that I have this environment folder created, and then I have all these files that are there with all the libraries and etc. So as this one says, you probably wanted to copy and paste this somewhere uh, if you want to. And pretty much what happens is there are a couple of ways in which you can, uh, you know, invoke this environment. So one way is you go back to the Anaconda, uh, you know, dashboard, and then you can see that your new environment shows up. So it's actually trying to refresh. So therefore, this new environment is again trying to figure out uh, the different types of uh, packages that are there in this. And then what you can do is once this is done, you can activate it. The other way of activating this is, you know, if you are in uh, any particular shell, uh, you should always have the base shell there. And then what you do is Uh, you activate this by doing that, and now the only difference here is you can see that you will have a new uh, shell, which is your UAV shell. So that'll be your new shell. Um, and then now this one, you can see this is go for Python, and we've actually used the same version of it. Here you can see that you have the DJI Tello uh, library that is set up. Uh, and another thing that now you can actually basically say Conda environment list, and this should actually pull up now two environments. As you can see, that's the environment, and now this is the current environment that is holding up the new uh, environment or the created, and we probably need to give it a name, and we should be able to give it a name. So you can also go to uh, you know conda um, sorry environment, and then you should be able to list the packages that are installed in this environment. So